Hello ladies and gentlemen, and in today's tutorial actually we are going to be looking at how we are going to be creating assets for our games. So first of all, what are assets? So think of all the images, all the animations in our games. So all of that can be regarded to as the sprite assets. So there are different assets including audios, sound effects, etc. We also have shaders, and we might be looking at shaders as we move forward in the course. So for now, I'll just be going through the LibreSprite. I'm not going to teach how to create sprite using LibreSprite, but I'll just show you how you can work with LibreSprite. So first of all, you can create a new file. Click on file, we have this new button over here, and notice that just like Godot's engine, it is showing us the shortcut. So we can just use Ctrl N or just click on new file over here to create a new file. So I'll be using shortcut most of the time. So right now, let's set this to 16 by 16, and so now this uh we have this thing over here. This is where we are going to be drawing. uh, to zoom in, you can just you can hold down on the set button. So I've clicked the set button. You can notice down over here I've activated the zoom tool. So by left clicking, I'm zooming in. By right clicking, I'm zooming out. So right now, I'm not going to actually uh, go far how we're going to be creating pixel art. I'll show you some tricks, but let's quickly go over the toolbar. We have the toolbar here. I can easily use that to interact with our sprite. So this is where we are going to be creating a sprite. So first of all, let's talk about the pencil tool over here. When you hold down the pencil tool, you can see that we have two tools over here. We have the pencil and we have the spray tool. I'm not going to go over the spray tool. So click on the pencil tool. Over here we can choose a color. So choose black, and here we can easily just draw whatever we want to draw. And to erase, you can use the eraser tool. You can see that when you click on it, we have the shortcut. Shortcut for pencil is B, and the shortcut for eraser tool is E. So I can just click on E and I can erase part of my drawing that I don't want. So you might be like, why am I erasing what I'm erasing? I'll show you that very soon. So now we've talked about the B, pencil tool, and E, the eraser tool. Next we have this color picker. You can use it to select any color. So right now I want you to draw some things on the screen using different colors. And now if you want to select this color, you can easily just use color picker, and I've selected this color. You can see it's right over here. I don't know if you guys notice the difference. If I click on this, you can see that this color has changed. If I click on this, it's changed to the selected color. If I click on black, it changes to black. So we'll talk about how we are going to work with colors very soon. So right now we've talked about the zoom tool. When I said you can press Z key, zoom in and zoom out with left click or right click. Here we can easily move our drawings around inside the canvas. We can easily move it around using these move tools over here. So we also have the paint bucket tool. For now, I want you to draw like a closed area in your drawings. So I'll be using black color most of the time for this crash course. So I'll just fill this area in like this, and using paint bucket I can easily fill this area, this closed area, with some colors. So I'll just choose this color. So this is also a closed area right over here. I can easily fill that with also with another color. So right now we can see that we have uh we have filled both the outer area and the inner area with the color of red and this light blue color. So next we have this line tool. There are two tools, but we are going to talk about the line tool. So the line tool, you can easily use that to make a line, and the shortcut is L. So we have the shortcut for the paint bucket, the move tool, and the zoom tool. Mm. So now we've activated it. I'm just going to select a new color, and now when I move uh when I move around, instead of drawing pixel by pixel like the pencil tool, I can actually draw a straight line with this tool, or draw diagonal lines. So if you want a perfect straight line, hold down shift when you are drawing. You can see that this is a perfect straight line, and also it is a perfect diagonal line. So you can see this in action. This is like a straight diagonal line. This is a bend diagonal line. We also have a bent diagonal line over here. So let's just draw a diagonal line over here, and I just fill this area with the color, and just go over this and just draw on it like that. So we have the rectangular tool. You can easily use that to draw any rectangle. So I'm just going to draw a basic rectangle over here, and this rectangle I can easily fill in the rectangle with a color. I'm going to choose a red color. Let's just choose yellow. I just fill it in like that, and the surrounding area, let's make it this color. So right now what I want to do is I want to talk about another tool. Instead of the rectangle tool that we use over here, you can easily use rectangle tool to draw any rectangle. But when you want to draw square, you can easily hold down shift. However, let's say we don't want the inside of our rectangle to be transparent. We want a filled rectangle. So to undo what we've done before, hold down shift Z, shift and Z. Oh sorry, control Z. So hold down the rectangle tool. You can see the shortcut is V. I'm sorry, that is actually U. So the shortcut is U. So when you hold down U again, it changes to a filled rectangle tool. So this is a rectangle tool, and this is filled rectangle tool. Just click on U to cycle between filled rectangle and rectangle tool. So right now I've clicked on this filled rectangle tool, and now if I draw the same thing, you will notice that it is going to fill it in when I release the button. So just like before, I can easily go inside and just draw what I want to draw. So we also have the same thing for the circle. You can draw any circle. If you want a perfect circle, hold down shift and it's going to draw a perfect circle. And we also have the feed circle, and you can toggle between the ellipse and the feed ellipse tool using shift V and shift U. So shift U fish circle and circle tool, or the ellipse tool. So I'm just going to cut that. We have the contour tool and the blur tool. You might want to use the blur tool in the future when you want to blur some parts of your pixel art. I really don't recommend this, but you might want it. We also have the I think this is gradient, okay, jumbo tool actually. You can easily use that to if I'm right, you can use that to deform uh your asset. I really don't see why you are going to use this feature. So for now, that was all about the tools, the toolbar in the LibreSprite. So you can save your file over here, hitting on file and hitting save. And if you want to save a new fashion, you can click on save as. And we also have the export. The export sprite sheet over here is very useful, but I'm not going to talk about it now. Maybe you can go over it in a pixel art course, but uh, this is mostly what you are going to be working on, and these are all the tools you'll be using when you are creating your sprite. So right now I'll just show you some few tricks in LibreSprite. So I'm just going to quickly draw in something over here. I don't really know what to draw, but I don't know. Uh, let's draw in. I don't know. Maybe this is some. Maybe this is a fruit. Yeah, maybe this is some fruit. I mean, it doesn't really look that well, but yeah. So this is a fruit, and we've talked about filling in. It's a green fruit. So first of all, let's talk about colors. So we have the index. It shows all the color in our palette. So this is a palette. A palette is just a set of colors that you are going to use in your sprite. Right over here, hmm, right over here, click on this button. We have different palettes that you can choose from, but you can even choose. You can export whatever color you add over here. You can save it as a new palette. So right here, uh you can change the different color selector. So this is a color selector. You can drag around, moving up and down you can change the value, moving left and right you can change the saturation, and here you can change the hue of the color. So you can use this to select various colors, or you can just go over the HSB tab over here. We talk about the index, RGB. For the RGB color selector, you can easily drag around and look at the value over here. The HSB for the hue, saturation, and the value selector. So value is how dark and light the color is. Saturation is just how saturated the color is actually. So this is very highly saturated, and this is not saturation, no saturation at all. And this is for the hue selector. Usually use that to select the hue value. So most of the time when you're working with colors, you want to keep this on. So you can easily do that by clicking on this pen icon over here, and you can work with your colors easily. So those are just basic stuff that you are going to need. And right now I'm just quickly going to work on this apple very quickly. And I'm not going to be talking about what exactly I'm doing. um, all right. So right here, I advise you to just always zoom out when you're working on your sprite. So what I'm doing here is I'm just coloring it. I'm giving it a dark color border, and area over here uh, I'm making this area over here, I'm making it lighter than this area, because this is where the light is coming from. And I'm going to do the same thing for the color. So this is going to be a little bit dark, a little bit darker than. So this is just basics of shading. Where the light hits is going to be a little bit lighter than the rest of your image. So just go over here, let's go over here. Actually, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And don't forget, always zoom out to look at your sprite from a different perspective. So this is where the light is hitting. You can see that it's more lighter in those areas, but this area right here, this area is going to be darker. It's going to be very, very dark. So now what we are going to do is we are going to choose a very dark color. And how I choose that color, just decrease the brightness and increase the saturation. As for the light color, what you are going to do is you are going to increase the brightness and decrease the saturation. And you can move towards the yellow a bit and move toward blue a bit, depending on your style. So for now, I'm just going to uh, use the size that I've been using before, decrease the brightness and increase the saturation for the dark color. So these places are all going to be a little bit dark, and the dark is going to go like this. I think that's good. This is maybe some light bouncing off the color. So right now you can look it at a view like this, and we can see that we have our sprite. So right now what I want you guys to do is create uh, a sprite. Just draw something and color it, and I'm going to do one very quick. So that is your assignment. Whatever uh whatever software you are using, you can easily do that. So right now I'm going to just draw some guy, but this guy is going to be like this actually. So this is going to be the year. Again, just I like to draw using this style. I'm just going to just quickly draw, and I'm going to start filling with color. So that's the eye, this is the nose, this is mouth, and it's going to have a leg, this type of leg, and this is going to be like this, because this is the second leg actually. So right now let's just start the coloring. So he has a purple here because he's a badass. So the light is going to come from this source again. So this is going to be this is going to be the shadow, and I'm going to move toward the blue. I've talked about that before, that you can move toward the blue or the red depending on the color you are selecting. and all of this is going to be a little bit dark, and for the highlight this is just going to be moving towards red, and just pasting, let's paste this in maybe a little bit more. um I think I like this actually. I just leave it as it is. Let's select the skin color, the skin tone. I want this. I like this actually. Darker. Alright. All of this is going to be dark, obviously. And what of the ear? The ear is just going to be some even more dark color. So let's shade in this part, and I don't know if it's actually that readable or not. I mean, I don't really like that there are too much shadow in that. Okay, that's good in my opinion. So let's add the highlight, move towards the white for the saturation, and move towards the yellow for the highlight. So let's just fill it in. For the eye, make this, yeah, like that. It's not that bad. I mean, it's obviously not that good either, but it's really not that bad. So again, this is not a pixel art course, and we're just quickly going through this. This is not a pixel art course actually. So let's give it some blue leg. The outer blue is going to be darker, of course, and right here this is going to be the same over here, I think. And I want it to be like this so that it shows that that's a leg. And for the border, I'm going to use a colored border. So I'll just choose a color that is very light. So the dominant color over here is this color. I'll just choose it and go dark. Alright. I mean, this is actually very good. And there we go, we have our sprite. So right now I believe you also do the same thing. You've colored it, you've gave it a border. Don't forget, border is just for readability. I mean, I don't think this border is actually very dark. Oh, sorry. Let's make it a very dark border. Alright, that's good. Alright, we have our sprite. Yeah, let's give it a mouth. You know what? I'm not giving it a mouth, but his mouth is actually quite too big. Alright, good. So right now, let's save using what we discussed earlier. Easily save by clicking on the save, and you can choose a folder of your choice. Right now, this is a folder for a game which created in the past. So I'll just go ahead and give it a name, a character, and let's save it with the ASE5 format. And this is the file format for Aseprite. LibreSprite is actually a fork of Aseprite, but LibreSprite is a free alternative. So right now we're going to save it again, but instead of hitting save, you can easily hit the save as, and here we can save it as PNG. So this is the file we are going to be working in. So in the next tutorial, actually, I'll be providing you guys with the asset that we are going to be using for the game. So I'm going to be creating those assets, and you can easily use that if you are new to pixel art. You can use that to study how we can create pixel art. So pixel art, in pixel art, you might have already noticed that we are just placing it each pixel like as if they are in a grid, and in fact they are in a grid. You can easily see that by pressing shift or G. You can see that this is a grid, and we are filling that each grid with colors. So that's how we make up the pixel art. So that's it all this uh for this part of the tutorial. Thanks so much for joining in, and I hope you are enjoying the series. Please drop it in the comments. Let us know uh how we can improve the series. Thanks so much for joining, and bye.